All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here with Jessica Woods. Jessica is a stylist out in California. Obviously, you know, I'm out here in Jersey, and we've became friends through the internet, through Instagram. And social media is what we're going to be chatting about today. And Jessica is amazing on social media. And the thing is this, guys, you can increase your circle of influence so big just by being friendly and kind and speaking to people on social media. And Jessica's one of those people in my life. Like, I watch her and I see her post and they inspire me, and I share her stuff with my team. And she's so amazing at creating her brand and what it's like to be at her salon and the experience. And that's why I wanted to bring her on today, so she can help kind of open up her little book of secrets with you guys, and like how she captures that feeling of what it's like to get your hair done in her salon. Jessica, just real quick, introduce yourself to everybody. Let them know your background, your experience, like how long have you been doing hair, and how, since social media came onto the scene of our industry, how it's helped your career.
All right, cool. Yeah, I'm Jessica Woods, and I go by Hair by Jessica Woods. It's all over everywhere. You look it up, it's on there. I've been doing hair for about 27 years, and I am actually licensed in 3 different states. And I went to Fagan's Beauty College in Grants Pass, Oregon, believe it or not, but I am a Cali born and raised chick. So, yes, I found social media 10 years ago, and started my business on there. And I just have been learning about all the different things of showing up, and it has completely grown my business 100%. Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't know you were
No
licensed.
longer like the penny saver or here's my card or like I hope they come in for walk-ins. Like, I've really learned it's about your presence on social media, and I love to share that with people. So that's.
Do you do hair in 3 states now or no? 'Cause I didn't know you were licensed in 3 states.
Yeah, I am. No, I just do hair 5 days a week in San Diego,
All right.
Oceanside, California. Yeah.
Yeah. So let me ask you a question. When you got into social media 10 years ago,
Yeah.
and now I look at your posts, right? Your posts are amazing. How were your posts back then?
Oh, they were awful. They were totally awful. So we're talking about, was it MySpace? Like, that was done, right? And then Facebook launched, and I was like, oh my God, this is so exciting. So I knew that I had to put my pictures up there, and I was scared to death to put my pictures up there because I had no idea how to take a picture. I had no idea what to say. And I had so much editing on it that when I look back, it was completely ridiculous. And 10 years ago, I really was starting to learn balayage. So my work wasn't great, but I had to show up. So I just did the next right thing, and I started just posting and praying and learning in the meantime. And it just kind of developed into what it is today. Yeah.
It's funny. People still post and pray after 10 years of doing this.
Post and pray. Yeah.
What did you use? So when did you get out the Instagram?
When did I get on Instagram?
Was that 10 years ago too, or no?
About 10 years ago too. Yeah, because like Facebook, and then everybody's like, we're going into Instagram, and now it's like TikTok. So, but I built everything.
I built on Facebook.
Yeah, I built on Facebook. Before there was Facebook business page, it was just
it was just my personal page.
Yeah.
And then Facebook allowed you to boost your posts. Like, you're allowed to advertise on Facebook.
Right.
So I would advertise posts, and I started doing the math on my advertising, and I realized this before I knew anything about ads. If I spent X amount of dollars, that would bring me in this many clients. I would make that much money on my clients. A full highlight was this much, so I can afford to spend like $28 or $35 on each client to get through the door.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, wow, that works with, $5 a day or $10 a day or $100 a day. So I was at a point I was doing like sometimes $300 a day.
Yeah. I have never to this day
Advertised?
No, actually I just started this month, paid for advertisement. I have done it all myself. And then I would research on, like, if I'm going to pay someone to do it, what are they doing? And then I learned it and I did it myself. Yeah.
That's huge. I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah.
What did you learn how to do that? Just Google searching, or?
In the beginning or no?
Yeah, like now for advertising.
So I take every social media content class from every young person I can get my hands on. And I also am looking at people that inspire me and what they're doing. I'm always niching in my social media. My purpose, though, that's where you got to ask yourself, what is your purpose for your social media? And for me, it's not to be social media famous. Like, I'm not trying to get 100,000 followers. If so, great. But my purpose is to really touch somebody personally and engage in a relationship. That's
And
my purpose.
so important. People have these vanity metrics and they think it's about the followers. It's just about your followers. Like,
Yeah.
how do you show up for them? And are they converting? Because you could be an influencer and you could have 100,000 followers, and there could be someone down the street with 500, and there are 500 followers that convert and are your clients. They're making way more money.
Right. Yeah, there's
Whether it
people
be,
that have those. I have taught people with those followers that aren't making any revenue in the chair, And I'm like, and I know people who have 500 followers, literally 500 followers, a person that I just trained who is killing it behind the chair,
so don't look at your followers and think that is how much money you're going to make.
Right. The best thing I heard about social media that I always hold dear to my heart is if all those followers showed up to a stage where you're going to be presenting yourself and you're looking at the audience, how are you going to show up to make it a personal experience where they want to continue to come back to your show? So I do that with my social media.
I was just going to bring that example up too.
To all my followers that I'm showing up for you. I personally can't take any more clients. I'm maxed out in my business. That's why I have you as coach to go further. But I show up for my social media to let my clients know and potential new clients like, hey, I'm showing up in a relationship because it matters. And I'm consistent. That's huge. Yes.
I love the fact that you said you take every course and every program for every young person and whoever. Jess, you've been doing it here 27 years, you said, right?
Right.
The fact that you're humble enough to realize that they may know something more than you, even if it's a nugget of information, that's just showing how you have no ego, right? You're not too good to learn anything new from somebody, but that's why you're at the level you're at, and that's why you're so busy and you really can't take on any new clients. So all the people out there who say, I'm too old to learn social media. I hear, though, I'm not good at technology. I want to strangle some of them.
Yes.
Why don't you just hire somebody to teach you how to do it? Like, what's the average course that you take, cost you, let's say, a couple $100 here and there?
Yeah, a couple $100, and you learn so much, and also the thing is with people, this is the truth for me being, I'm of age, I'm pushing near 50. Thank you. I look so good right now, but I have to say it's really humbling for a stylist that's been doing hair as long as I have to connect with a new stylist who's doing better than I am on social media and saying, hey, your work is fantastic. I'm me. And can you just show me that angle on the camera and how you got that? Or like, how are you doing that? Or can I even meet with you? Can we have coffee? Like, and I always say, like, I'm super vulnerable showing up saying I'm the older lady trying to connect with the 21-year-old. And they're like, heck freaking yeah. And I'm like, they're my new friend. And I learned something. I've done that so many times. Yeah.
That's
and
awesome.
It makes me feel good and like youthful still in my business too.
Okay, let's say your Instagram now gets deleted, right? You have no more social media. Everything, you get hacked. You lose all your accounts.
Yeah.
You wake up tomorrow morning after you're done crying and you're like, fuck, what do I do?
Right? The world's over. I'm just kidding.
Tell me what your next action plan is. Like, really, I want you to take a second, put yourself in that mindset. Like, what are you going to do now?
Yeah, I've totally put myself there many times. So a lot of the things that I've learned in my different business coaching is, okay, great, you have a social media, but what do you have if that were to shut down? So I log all my social, like my followers, I try to get all their emails, and there's a link on my profile that takes them to my website. So I retain the information. So if things were to shut down, I have all those emails and phone numbers saying like, hey, the world ended. So I'm going to now go back to the Post-its if I needed to. Yeah.
Okay. Now, where do you start posting on Instagram? How do you create the new account to start showcasing all of your technique? Would do anything you do different? What would you do now not just to get the followers, let's say, what would be your strategy for building up? Would you do anything different? Like, how would you fast track this?
Okay, so if everything shut down, I started, it would first be, what my brand is, what my story is. Who am I as a person in a business? Why do you want to trust in me to invest your money with me? Who am I? So I think building trust with people is huge. And how you build trust is your story of who you are, and what you have to serve, and how to solve a problem.
Love this conversation.
So
Yeah.
good.
So I don't know if you took the trust marketing lesson that I have in the program. Did you take that one yet? You might have been away when I taught
I
it.
might have. Yeah, I've taken almost all your
I
lessons.
teach something called the trust barrier,
Mhm.
right? You create content, it has to be valuable. And then once you have somebody who learns from what you're teaching, you break through the trust barrier. Then you go into you have to break the decision barrier. But in between the trust barrier and the decision barrier, right? Picture a line like this, and then there are the two barriers. You have the relationship. And that's where people forget social media is a relationship, and you speak to people online. You're very friendly. And that's how they break the decision barrier. They trust you enough to want to talk to you. Now it's like, hey, I'm going to make a decision, like you just said, to invest in this person. And a lot of people don't put the time in. They're so ungrateful for the 500 people that follow them. Did you ever thank each person? Like, I had this conversation, like, have you reached out to every person that follows you and said, hey, thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, I love
Yeah, I
that
know
now.
you have.
Yeah.
That's why you're fully booked.
So the perception switch on that, if you're saying it's too much work, I can't do it, I don't know how, I'm scared of what I look like, blah, 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 all the excuses not to show up. So this is what you're saying. It's not important to me to show up for you, and I am not someone you can come and talk to. I'm shut down. So I heard another great thing is, if you're not engaging with people and like getting involved, you're now the mean girl, mean guy, or you're the snobby person that's too good, or you just don't care. So the last thing I want my followers to think is like, I can't go to Jessica and ask a question. I always respond within hours to people who have a question because I do care, and I would never want someone to think that I didn't, especially a client. So many people are like, oh my God, thank you so much for responding. And I never get a response. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Why?
I think some people also, they get scared to be social on social media, not to seem weird or pushy.
All weird. That's what makes us fantastic. We are all a bunch of weird people. Stay weird, my friends. Stay weird. I mean, come on. Yeah.
If you come from a place like of really truly caring to connect with your audience, you're not going to come across weird. Like, we all get the messages selling us extensions, right?
Mhm.
Everyone gets them from China. Hey, you want to buy my hair? Don't do that. If you don't want to be weird, then don't be weird and be like, hey, I own a hair salon. Can you come to me, please? Hey, girl, thanks for following. Are you following for the beauty tips or the hair inspo? Whatever it is.
Right.
Start a conversation. Oh, no, I love the hair tips you give. Like, you were using the Dyson Airwrap on your hair because I love your blowouts and I learned so much from that. Thank you. Oh, cool. Do you live nearby? I do. Awesome. Oh, and you start the conversation going with them.
Right.
Where do you
And
get
it's
your
also
hair?
knowing that you are ahead of someone always, right? Like, no matter where you are in your career, you are advanced before somebody, and it's like almost your responsibility to show up for that somebody who looks up to you, because it doesn't matter if you just graduated from college. It might be someone who's interested in taking beauty college, so show up for that next person like the person ahead of you showed up for you. So I try to give that back too.
And for people, like, I'm glad you brought that up because I didn't even think about that perspective. When a lot of my younger stylists feel like, I don't know enough. Like, I just got out of beauty college or beauty school.
Right.
Well, you know more than the person who never went.
Right.
You know more than a person who just started. It's their first day.
Right.
And so I could teach someone who was the chapter before me. Like, I could teach you because I read that chapter already. And here's the importance. And this is what you're doing differently that you may not even know, but I'm sure you do because you're pretty bright. If I don't better myself and keep on elevating my knowledge, I can only teach you what I just learned. So Jessica, me and you're one of my clients. And I stopped learning. I could teach you to where I'm at now, then what happens? I got to continually better myself and learn more. This way I can keep bringing my team along that journey.
Right.
And so if you are a social media person, you're trying to educate people on social media or whatever platform you're on, always better yourself, always go to learn more.
Yeah.
And this way you can take these people who follow you on the journey throughout the next 10 or 20 years that you're a hairstylist.
Mhm.
And then you're going to build a big audience. And if it's not a big audience, it's an engaged audience, and it's a team, or not a team, but an audience of raving fans. If your audience on social media, whether it be TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, it does not matter. If they trust you and they value your opinion, and you say, hey guys, I'm starting a new product line. This is my leave-in conditioner. I guarantee you'll sell out. So the thing is, it doesn't stop at doing hair. Like, I don't have to limit myself to just a hair salon. It could be a product line. I could say, hey, I'm fully booked, but why don't you guys go to Jessica? She's awesome at balayage, or better at this hair cutting than I am, or this technique.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to drive traffic to my new stylist in my salon. I'm going to make people buy the product that I want you to buy, because I've never let you down over the last 5 years or 10 years. I showed up every single day.
Right.
And you've seen me be human too. You've seen me pop on here when I was like just getting up in the morning. You've seen my kids. You've seen me go to their graduations. You've seen everything about my life. I don't know how you feel about this. And this is my own perspective.
Mhm.
I like to showcase in my stories my life. I don't believe in having two separate accounts, one for personal, one for business. For my personal brand, right?
Mhm.
Like your salon separate. Like when you have a salon, have your salon page. If you're the person in the suite, why do you want to juggle two accounts around? Like, that's so exhausting.
I think it just kind of depends on your market too.
Yeah.
Like, who is your market? Like, I do have two different accounts, personal and professional. I'm always on my professional, but my personal, like this for me as a consumer that wants to buy into something, I have like, I'm quick. I need to know if I'm going to get in there and get out of there. I care, but I don't care about your personal life. Like, I get burnt out on too much personal life. I want to know that where my value and my money I'm spending is going into that. So I think that makes me a little different. Like, I'll sprinkle a little of my husband in there to let you know I'm married, and like, yeah,
Your stories, right?
a little bit, like, yes, to let you connect with me of like, I'm in an interracial relationship, I'm married, and I celebrate him. But I'm not talking about like we're always to doing. I have 2 kids. A lot of people don't know that, but the focus isn't really on my kids too much because they don't like it, actually. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I'll celebrate different things, but I really am making it about that person that I'm trying to attract. So my target market, I want you to know that I'm interested in those things. So for me, like, I'm not interested in a stay-at-home mom lifestyle so much. So if you're showing that a lot, I'm probably going to think like, I hate to say it, but like she might call in, or the baby's sick, or there's going to be, stuff like that for me.
I think what I'm referring to is like things you're into, will it be yoga, horseback riding, like connection points for people.
Yes.
And not every day, it's your story. Your wall should be hair tips. Every now and then you sprinkle in like a little hint of like
It's just
you're into.
season
Just
it.
to make you human. But your stories, if you go horseback riding, showcase that you go horseback riding, because then the person might be like, oh shit, I also go there too.
Yes.
And that's the connection point for them to reach out to you. Because a lot of people want you to do their hair, but there's not, they feel weird asking you.
But remembering who your target market is.
Yeah.
And I say that over and over again because you bring up alcohol drinking a lot. Like, so yes, if your person likes to party it up and you're out in the clubs and you're young, I personally am turned off by that. I'm thinking like, no, but if you're somebody who's going to fine dining, it's the nicest restaurant in the area, that's my target market. So I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna show that. Like, I went out of my way to have this experience. So now I have a conversation with you. So I got to use that for a purpose, but not to.
So that's beautiful. Like a nice upscale martini, glass of wine.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're going to attract those people.
Of course. What I do for my target market is there's people out there who drink too much and they don't know why the fuck they're not busy.
Yeah.
Well, you came over, you hung over like the last couple of weekends, messed up your client's hair, and then you called out sick twice because you were too sick and hungover.
Right.
So it's like, to me, it's like, I like to stress that point of, hey, there's a time and place, and if you can't control it, it's time to eliminate it out of your
Yeah.
picture. I love my bourbon, right?
Yeah.
So I stopped drinking. It was May 20th last year was when I just stopped. My whole goal was to do it for a year, and it was for my daughter. I never had a DWI. It never caused a problem in my life. I just sort of realized, like, wow, if my daughter needed me to, if I had to take her to the doctor real quick in the middle of the night and I was hungover, or drunk, like I drank a bottle of bourbon that night, how can I get in the car and drive her safely?
Right.
But also, to me, she sees me drinking, she might be, oh, it's okay for me to drink too. What if she can't handle it? What if she becomes an addict?
Yeah.
Right? So it just, for me, I felt like, and one of the coaches I hired, no drinking was part of his program too.
That's mine too. 12 years. Yes.
And it's amazing. I would love to like have a glass of wine or bourbon here and there, but what if someone who follows me now, they're an addict, and it's like, if Nick says it's okay, I see him drinking, I'm going to do it too. So
Right.
for what I'm trying to do, it doesn't work. However, for you, what you're doing, it works out perfect, because the high class, high level client of yours wants that, $400 or $500, $1,000 bottle of wine. They want to dine at that restaurant. That makes perfect sense. So like you said, you have to know your audience.
Yeah. And I call myself luxury, but rooted, knowing my roots, So you're going to get a luxury experience with me, but I'm down to earth. Like
Real.
I've been living a life, you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
I also am giving a service that I want. I want you to trust in me as your stylist, that I'm going to show up the best way possible. And that's how I'm going to advertise myself,
So when you see people just post and pray still, with all the knowledge, posting and praying nowadays, with all the, with all the technology we have, what advice do you give to them?
Post with purpose. Slow down. Yeah. So my assistant that I taught to, if you're going to post a picture, I want you to sit and get 5 different pictures. And I want you to sit on it, figure out what your purpose is and which one looks the best. Like, I need you to take it seriously, take some time to think about what this says about you. I know a lot of people are just like, I don't know what to post. Well, let's first think you have about 6,000 pictures on your camera. So even if you didn't do a client that day or you have nothing to say, there's something in that camera that's going to say something great about you. You just take time to figure out what that is and what are you going to say about it. But you got to understand, like, pictures are everything now. Like, you got to make sure that those pictures look clean. That's my biggest thing. So if you're taking a picture of someone's hair, look at it in like a 4D lens on, you see hair. What does the cape look like? What does the background look like? Is the lighting off? Like, because that can show sloppy work. And again, we're talking about posting with purpose.
Yeah, I've seen people post in the back of the salon, looks like mayhem behind the hair picture. It's like the trays there. There's like 3 towels with bleach on them. The color bowl's still there, and it looks chaotic, and it's distracting from the hair.
Yeah. So think about it. If a doctor were to post a picture of a patient, and he had dirty tools there, and the cape was dirty, and the background's all messy with their lunch, would you ask yourself, would I want to see the doctor for I don't know? Probably not. I'm a little nervous. You know what I'm saying? So elevate that a little bit.
How do you feel about people showing up to work dressing the part of a professional?
Why did I know you were going to ask me this? I think it's 100%.
Okay.
Yeah, for me, I'm going to be leading a salon next year, and that is going to be absolutely mandatory, is that you show up your best self. Now, that doesn't mean you need to be in Louis Vuitton gear or without, all that kind of stuff. It means who are you trying to attract? So if your hair is not done and your makeup isn't done and you're wearing yoga pants all day long, every day, I'm probably not going to be the salon for you to work at. Yeah.
I've used this.
Client who's going to come and dress better than me is going to expect me to be the part. So if I'm going to charge those prices and that's my target market, but I show up too tired to give a shit about what I look like, she's going to think I'm not going to give a shit about what she looks like. Her blow dry is going to be half-assed. I don't know. For me, that's...
the example I give to people is you want to be professional because you brought up a doctor. That's why I wanted to bring this up. And professionals are professionals. So we could make money like doctors can, lawyers can. And would she show up to the courtroom to give her opening statement and then do her hair and makeup after the opening statement? That's what people do when they go to the salon, rolling out of bed, and then they do their hair and makeup for their fourth or fifth client of the day.
Yeah.
You just no respect for the profession.
Yeah, and it doesn't mean that you have to spend a lot of money on your makeup and your hair and your outfit. It's just giving it some time to show up your best self. Wherever you're at, just show up your best self. Take some time to do your makeup with what you have. I mean, you're a hairdresser, make sure your hair looks good. I can't tell you how many times I've been in a salon and heard a client say something about a stylist appearance that there was no time taken. You know what I mean? And that told me, like, girl, make sure you will never see me go to the salon with not my hair done or my makeup on. You know, it's okay to wear flat shoes and, like, you know, stretchy pants once in a while, but, you know, yeah, you want to make sure.
When it comes to your artwork of the hair, and I see a lot of videos on your page too. Like, what is your settings on do you have an iPhone? Is that all done on an iPhone or do you have a camera?
My iPhone right now.
Okay.
I like get my
it looks great.
Yeah.
The videos look phenomenal. Is there like an app that you use, or is it just straight up the iPhone camera? Is there an aperture setting?
Lighting is everything. I love almost dusk. It's just so my look is kind of like that romantic upscale kind of vibe. Slow it down. When you're taking videos, take it slow. Like, you don't want to go fast. You want to take it slow, and tell yourself when you get frustrated, because you will, the client's cool. Just slow it down. Take your time. I always do on cinematic.
Okay.
Always do that, because what that does is it blurs out the background. So it's focused on the hair only. And I always, if you ask all my clients, make sure the background's clean. I'm like, oh my God, no, like your coffee cup's back there. Let me move it over. Like, your purse is good. Wait, no, it's a name brand one. Leave it out there. Like, it all makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. So
your clients,
good lighting, and then I always ask too, because a lot of my clients don't really like it, but I'm like, hey, I'm going to do a video. Do you mind? Give me 10 minutes. They're like, cool. And then
you say, give me 10 minutes.
Yeah. And I say, all right, Victoria, let's do this, because it's a Victoria's Secret shot, you know?
Okay.
And they can do it, but not everybody does. So cinematic.
Do they get
great?
Do they get excited to see the final result on your Instagram page?
Totally do. And actually what I do, and this is a little secret, is I'll take a bunch of videos and pictures, and then I'll airdrop it to their phone right away. And then I let them share as long as they tag me. So I'm getting 2 out of 1. And that really works well. Yeah. And then I say the next day, like, hey, you enjoyed your experience. Use those pictures and give me a review on Google or Yelp.
Oh, yeah. That's good.
Trying to do all the work for you. Just show up for me. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah. That's actually genius to share the pictures with them.
Because now I know it looks good.
Well, here's the thing. A lot of stylists don't share the pictures because they look like shit until they edit them too.
No, don't edit.
Yep.
I am a no edit type of person.
Yeah.
That's cheating. So how uncomfortable is that if you edit a picture of a client, they know what they left with? You know what I'm saying? Like, so if you edit that picture and that client's going to look, that's a not feel good thing for the client. Like, why'd you edit my face so much? Or why'd you edit my hair's not that blonde or dark or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I know clients who edit their pictures a lot, and it just looks fake when you go to their page, and that could be. And it looks it looks like a great photograph, but it's not the same hair, and I feel like that hurts the client's feelings a little bit. Like, hey, like, why'd you edit it so much?
I mean, sometimes I'll soften. So like, I'll have some ladies who are like, oh, I have a zit here, or my chin looks funny, or
I get it.
I'll soften those a little bit, but I don't edit the whole picture out.
I was talking about the hair itself too.
Oh, the hair. Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Like the face. Yeah. Put the makeup on it. If they got a pimple, smooth it out. Yeah. Like they made fun of me for a video in my salon. I was in the break room and I'm taking one of my videos, and I have an infant at home. So I look really tired in this video. And so I'm editing underneath my eyes, and the girl behind me, she's like, you edit your pictures or your videos? I was like, do you start tired to look at this picture? And everyone started making fun of me and laughing.
Yeah. Oh, my God. Yeah, I put a filter on a lot of the times.
Yeah.
And
I was like, look how much younger I look in this fucking video right now.
yeah, I look
Yeah,
fantastic. Yes.
that was
But for
getting
my
made fun.
clients, no. And it's hard to edit a video, so that's why I do a lot of videos.
Yeah.
I'm trying to
I prefer videos.
people way I can to earn trust. Because again, it isn't so much about like, oh, do you like me because everything looks perfect? It's like, do you like me because you want your hair to look like this? And obviously if I can't do the work and then you come and spend money with me and it doesn't look like that, not only will I get a bad review, I'm not being authentic.
One of my biggest statements you always hear me say is good marketing makes a bad product feel faster. So if you're out there editing pictures, someone's going to come to you with that picture you did and be like, hey, I want this. You can't deliver, you're going to ruin your reputation.
Yeah.
So
for sure.
Remember that. You may be great at marketing. A lot of these girls are really good at marketing, like the younger generation.
Oh, they're fantastic.
They don't have the experience behind the chair yet.
Yeah.
So make sure your skills are up to par with how you're marketing.
Yeah. I mean, I started doing hair when we wrote things down with pencils and penny savers and, walk-ins. And now the new generation is like, no, it's like, I learned this as a child, it's like, okay, teach me. Like, you can't be posting 30 hashtags with like love, like, listen, all these different things and expect that to go somewhere. You're just going to get totally blocked,
Yeah. Oh, I'm glad you brought that up. So SEO now on Instagram. Mm-hmm. So Instagram now is using search engine optimization, the keywords in your caption to serve it to relevant audiences with your reels and with your posts rather than hashtags now. Yeah. So did you learn about that? Any of your,
with the whole AI meta? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh my gosh. It's so awesome. Today, I just actually launched my business on Bing because that's the whole thing.
Okay.
Yes, it's all AI. So all the search engines are now going to be AI. So all the older folk like myself that are like, I'm so nervous about AI, get used to it because that is the future. And all the search engines are going to be that. And whatever all the young people, clients are putting in the search engine for that is what is going to show up. So
your caption's really important to have a lot of that relevant.
Yeah, you're feeding it. So again, knowing who you're trying to market to, what is your business about, and how are you trying to grow, and put that in your brand on social media.
So it's hair by Jessica Woods, right? Is your Instagram handle?
Yep, hair by.
I know we're talking offline a little bit about somewhat of a coaching program for you. So if I am a stylist, I would say maybe 25 years into the industry, and you're insecure about hiring a young girl. I think you're a perfect candidate for that because you too are in the same era they are. So how can somebody reach you? Is the program going to be coming out soon? Do you do one-on-ones? If I wanted to hire you and I'm watching this podcast, are you open to teaching people?
Yes, absolutely.
Cool.
Yes, I am.
Is there like a certain amount of information they should know already? Because a lot of people get intimidated because when you go to your page, it's on point. So you could take someone from not knowing anything, right? And helping that person out.
Yeah. I love teaching people how to feel empowered behind the camera. As somebody who suffers from being vulnerable a lot of the time, and I'm always nervous what people are going to say and think of me, you kind of got to put that aside and do it for yourself to show up for the person. So I'm the first person. I know I do hear a lot that I tend to look intimidating, but I am so right-sized, I'll put it that way, that I'm open to anybody coming in.
I co-sign that too.
Yeah. Yeah. It's taken me a lot of work to find my self-worth, and that's also what I like to share in my coaching.
Yeah, but when you first opinion of Jessica, right? Very pretty, hair's done up, her page is on point, and you might think like, oh wow, she's going to be one of those girls who are just like too stuck up. And I don't mean that in a negative way. I mean that in a complete positive way. You're so sweet. Like, you're so genuine. And the fact that sometimes you get intimidated about your work and your work is so good. And like, I'm like, wow, sometimes she might have imposter syndrome. Like, you're, holy shit.
And I do sometimes.
Yeah. It's like, wow, like girls watching this or guys watching this, listen, it's good you have that feeling. Like, is this work good enough? But make sure you know where it's coming from. If your work sucks, make it better. But just to
Right.
know, like, Jessica, like, you post stuff and I look at it, I'm like, oh my God, it looks like it came out of a movie.
Oh my gosh, thank you.
Yeah, I swear to God, like you're like, and when you say it's like seductive and like that Twilight's romantic, some of
Yeah.
your shit's romantic. Like I look at the hair, I'm like,
I
wow,
love romantic. That's my
that's
jam.
it should be an ad for the color line. And like the fact that you still feel that way, it's like, all right, cool. So anyone watching this, it's okay to have those feelings, but you still have to post. You
Yeah.
still have to overcome those feelings because the only way to get better and get to that next level is to be consistent and just keep doing it every day. And like she said in the beginning of the call,
Right.
you had to start somewhere.
Yes. Writing
Post it,
lists.
right.
Like, write lists. I write lists every Monday after your coaching call. Like, what do I need to work on? And then I actually put that in action to figure out how to make it better. Like, it's so sweet that you think of my social media that way because I'm thinking, like, I need to kick it up, but I'm always needing to kick it up, you know? Yeah. And getting over the fear. Fear is false evidence appearing real. We all know that. Like, just show up as a person that wants to engage with other people. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Social.
I want to thank you for taking some time out of your day. I know it's Mondays, your days off, and you were on the computer all day long from coaching calls to
Yeah.
talking to other people. But it's Hair by Jessica Woods, right?
Right.
I'm going to add that right on the bottom over here. Anything else you want to say to people watching?
Hey, I can't wait to see you show up. Show up and message me. I'm really excited. And it's the beginning to a fantastic future. Just believe in it. I see it and let's do it.
Guys, as you're watching, you want to ask Jessica any questions personally, shoot her a DM on Instagram. She's always on there. She's always answering back. She's 100% a real human being, right?
Yeah.
So you could ask her anything. She's a book. She'll expose you all of her secrets that got her where she's at today. She's super successful, and she's the example of what you could actually do in a suite. Like she's by herself in there, and she's one of the most successful stylists that I've came across in my career, and she's definitely someone you should follow. So, Jessica, thank you for taking the time out to talk to everyone.
Thanks, Nick.